Hello everybody, this is David Blair, the Crosshairs Trader. I welcome you to my CHT Notes from the Frontlines, wherein I simply discuss what's going on in the general market, give us an idea of where individual stocks could possibly go as well. Let's begin with the S&P futures. Top chart is my daily chart, bottom chart is the weekly chart. I also have an intraday chart that us Crosshairs traders use, but let's take a look at the bigger charts to begin with. If you notice on my daily chart here, you'll see that this is something I've been discussing for several days now. We have been maneuvering right underneath these dotted lines here. These dotted lines come from my weekly chart. It's a major moving average. We're finding some possible resistance here. Today we could try to break out of that. We've needed some consolidation and some rest, and we're getting it right below that. And then we've got some price resistance that goes back to our spring highs. So we've got several areas here we need to watch. That doesn't mean that we're necessarily going to reverse, but it does mean we simply need to be aware of what's going on and aware of that resistance and know that the market could consolidate a little more, rest before it goes up, and if we have any individual positions in individual stocks, that they may rest as well, because 90% of your stocks are going to go the way of the market. Take a look at most of the charts, most of the stocks that you watch, and see if most of them have not had an upward bias for the last 2 months, and you'll see what I mean. All right, let's take a look at the NASDAQ futures. NASDAQ futures, in difference from the S&P, has broken out of this year high back in April, unlike the S&P, and what we had April 08, April 09, isn't that interesting? April and April. Tried to break out last in 08 during that time. You remember what happened? Came back down. Last year we were below the 200, busted out and went up, pulled back, then actually had a crosshair on the weekly at the beginning of the year. Well, now look what's happened. Down, finding support, moving average here. We've got what's called a golden cross or a bull cross. We've broken out of that. So the NASDAQ obviously is leading the market higher. So will the NASDAQ continue to pull the S&P up through that resistance, or will the resistance of the S&P pull the NASDAQ back down? Right now we're still bullish, still looking at bullish trades as the trend continues higher, and I never try to guess where the tops or the bottoms are. Let's take a look at a few individual stocks. ALTR is one I've been watching. Here's why I've been watching this. A couple of reasons. They've already had earnings. All of the moving averages are doing what we want them to do on the daily chart, but when I look at the weekly chart, we had a crosshair back in July. Crosshair on the weekly chart can last weeks to months. So we do have a trending stock on the weekly chart. It's broken out, and it looks like it's trying to test that support there. And if that is successful, you can see that on the daily chart right here. It is testing that support. I'm watching to see if it passes that test and it continues a pattern of trending. Breaking out of this pattern and then breaking above a resistance area, become support, and then maybe start doing this. ALTR already had earnings, so we don't have to worry about that. PNW is one us Crosshairs traders have been watching. Fired a crosshair on the daily 3 days ago, breaking out. One to watch. Need to check on when their earnings are, but that is one to watch. The only thing that concerns me is it is a little extended on the weekly chart, looks like. It's gone up for quite some time, so it may need to rest some, but could put a small position in on that if earnings are okay. Here's another one we have been trading. DBA broke out rather nicely, pulled back just a little bit right above support area, and yesterday continued to go higher, gave us an opportunity actually to add to our positions. That's DBA, the agricultural ETF. FMX had a nice breakout, one we've been trading and watching, and it's coming back trying to test for the next possible swing higher. FMX, pay attention to earnings. BTU, several of the coal stocks, looking at the same pattern on BTU. Take a look. They've had earnings. Take a look at it holding there. Let's see if it can hold in that pattern here. And if it can hold above this area in here, we could have another possible trade on BTU. That's Peabody, a coal stock. One thing I do want to mention, Caterpillar had earnings this morning. And look at what Caterpillar's been doing. It's been going sideways, consolidating. Keep that one in mind, possibly, for a continued rise as we've broken out of this consolidation, same kind of consolidation we've been in the general market. It's had a nice move and now for several days gone sideways up in their earnings today. But one thing I want you to watch, BUCY has earnings after the close today. Notice this stock's doing the same thing as another one that I'm getting ready to show you. Notice this, consolidated, broke out, came back, the big down day, day before yesterday, consolidating there. But notice JOYG Global. JOYG Global is in the same sector. It does not have earnings till December. Look at that chart, doing the same thing that BUCY is doing. There's your support area. If the market appreciates Caterpillar and appreciates BUCY, then this is one that you can watch as they don't have earnings till December. If it continues to consolidate and continues these moves, maybe breaks out here, this could be one, if the market continues to be bullish, JOYG Global, JOYG, could be one to keep our eyes on. Just something that I'm thinking about here. All right? No crosshair, but watching it, anticipating that we could have a nice trade on JOYG Global. All right? And the weekly chart has broken out, and we don't have resistance for quite some time on the weekly chart, up around 87, and it's at 71 right now. These are just some ideas. If you're interested in taking a look at what I do, interested in my blog, please sign up there, RSS feed, email, Twitter. I try to post something almost every day, just some articles for you to read, some ideas about trading behavior and psychology. If you're interested in any of the premium services, such as signing up for the Crosshairs University, that's going to start January, and kick off with a seminar in latter part of November, 1st of December, once I schedule it. If you're interested in that, please contact me at david@crosshairstrader.com. In the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful day, both in and outside the charts.